The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a wild day in the soap world, and we have an absolutely massive update to dig into. The latest episode of The Young and the Restless just dropped a total bombshell, and we need to break it down immediately. Grab your snacks, and let's get right into the chaos. So let's talk about the absolute train wreck that is Noah and Sienna right now. I mean, we all saw the writing on the wall, right? The fans on social media have been screaming about this for weeks, months, even. There was always this weird underlying tension with Sienna that just didn't sit right. I used to think maybe it was just bad chemistry. You know how it is. Sometimes two actors just don't click on screen and you have to suffer through it until the writers finally pull the plug. But no. It was actually a deliberate character choice. Sienna doesn't love Noah. She doesn't even like him. Honestly, she looks physically disgusted by him half the time. And tonight, oh man, tonight they ripped the Band-Aid right off, and it was brutal. And then we get to the actual sequence of events. It starts in the middle of the night. It's dark. It's moody. The lighting is doing that classic Y&R blue tint thing they always do when something bad is about to happen. Sienna is out of bed, fully dressed, sneaking around like she's trying to steal the Newman family silver. She grabs her keys and slips out the door. And, of course, Noah is awake because Noah is always awake these days. He's been so paranoid ever since the whole Matt Clark manipulation thing a few episodes ago, which, by the way, I still think was handled weirdly, but whatever, that's a rant for another day. Noah probably thinks she's sneaking out to meet Matt. That's what I thought. I was sitting here yelling at the screen, telling Noah not to follow her because he's just going to get his heart broken again. But of course he follows her because he's a Newman and they don't know how to just let things go. He has to know. He has to see it for himself. He trails her car through the dark streets of Genoa City. And the whole time, the camera keeps cutting back to Noah's face, and he just looks so tired. He looks like a guy who knows his life is about to fall apart, but he can't stop himself from watching the car crash. And then Sienna pulls into the parking lot, but it's not a hotel. It's not the shadow room. It's the hospital, Memorial Hospital. And right away, my stomach just dropped, because what is she doing at the hospital in the middle of the night? What is actually going on here? She goes inside, and Noah is creeping behind her. He's staying out of sight, hiding behind those giant fake potted plants they always use in the hospital sets. You guys know the ones. And he watches her go up to the front desk in the clinic wing. It's late, so it's mostly empty. Very quiet, very creepy. And he creeps closer. He creeps closer, and he hears her confirming her appointment. And then he hears the words that just completely shattered this entire storyline into a million pieces. She's pregnant. She is pregnant with Noah's baby. And she is there to schedule a termination, an abortion, in the middle of the night, in secret, without telling the father. I have to pause here, because what were they thinking? What were the writers thinking doing it this way? It is so brutal. It is just so incredibly brutal for Noah. Think about his history. Think about the fact that years ago, Audra Charles had his baby, got pregnant, and had a miscarriage, and Noah didn't even know about it until way later. He has all this unresolved, massive trauma wrapped up in the idea of fatherhood and losing a child. He never got to be a dad. And now history is basically repeating itself, but in an even more twisted way. Because Sienna isn't just losing the baby, she is actively choosing to get rid of it in secret, because she is so utterly repulsed by the idea of being tied to Noah for the rest of her life. And Noah hears this. He hears her confirming the details with the nurse. And you can see the exact second his heart breaks, the absolute devastation on his face. He doesn't even yell at first. He just steps out from behind the wall and says her name, Sienna, just like that. A whisper, a broken, pathetic little whisper. And Sienna turns around, and this is the part that really got me. This is the part that made me realize she is truly deeply done with it. She didn't look guilty. She didn't look ashamed that she got caught sneaking around to abort their child. she looked annoyed. She looked angry. She just looked at him with pure, unadulterated disgust, like he was a bug on her shoe that she couldn't scrape off fast enough. What are you doing here? She snaps at him. Not, I can explain. Not, Noah, please, let's talk about this. Just anger, pure anger. And Noah is standing there, completely broken, trying to process the fact that his girlfriend is pregnant and wants to end it. He's stammering. He's asking her, why? Why didn't she tell him? Why is she doing this in the middle of the night? Why does she look at him like she hates him? And Sienna just unloads on him. She tells him she doesn't want this. She doesn't want the baby. She doesn't want the Newman drama. She doesn't want him. She admits it right there in the cold, sterile hospital hallway. She doesn't love him. She feels nothing but disgust for him. And Noah, poor, pathetic, heartbroken Noah, he actually begs her. He literally begs her. He says, you don't love me. I get it. You don't love me. But let the baby live. Please. I'll take it. I'll raise it by myself. You can walk away and never have to see us again. Guys, I was practically speechless. I mean, it's crazy. It's so crazy. He is offering her a complete out. He's saying he will take on all the responsibility. The Newman family has infinite money. He can afford a whole army of nannies. He can give that child an amazing life. He's basically saying, I know I disgust you, but don't punish the baby for it. It was such a raw, desperate plea. I think it might be one of the best scenes Noah has had in years. It was just so pathetic, but so incredibly human. You really feel for the guy. You really do. But Sienna, oh my God, Sienna just loses it. She gets so angry. She starts yelling at him right there in the clinic waiting room. She tells him he's delusional. She tells him he's suffocating her. She says the idea of having a piece of him growing inside her makes her sick. Yes, she actually said that. She actually said that to his face. I literally gasped. Who says that? Who actually believes this is going to end well? She's just so full of venom. And you have to wonder, where is all this hatred coming from? Is it just because he's clingy, or is it the Matt Clark manipulation from last week? Did Matt get into her head so deeply that he poisoned her entirely against Noah? Or maybe I'm being too harsh on Sienna. Maybe feeling trapped by a pregnancy with a guy you realize you don't love, surrounded by the most powerful, controlling family in Genoa City. Maybe that would make anyone act like a cornered animal. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. The Newmans are terrifying. If she has that baby, Victor Newman is going to own her for the rest of her life. She knows that. She knows she'll never truly be free. So in her twisted, panicked mind, this is the only way out. But the way she's treating Noah is just unforgivable. You don't look at a man who is crying and begging to raise his own child and tell him he makes you sick. You just don't. The fans on social media are already ripping her apart. The comment sections are an absolute bloodbath right now. People are calling for her to be written off the show immediately, and honestly, I kind of agree. I don't see how the character comes back from this. You can't redeem someone who is this viscerally cruel to a legacy character who is just trying to save his unborn kid. I mean, maybe they can, but it would take a miracle, a literal soap opera miracle. So what happens next? The episode ended on this massive cliffhanger with Sienna storming off down the hospital hallway and Noah just standing there, frozen, tears streaming down his face. Is he going to call Sharon? Oh, man. Sharon is going to lose her mind. She is already so stressed out about Nick being in rehab and Matt Clark running around free. If she finds out Sienna is trying to abort her grandchild and treating Noah like garbage, Sharon might actually commit a murder. I would pay good money to see Sharon absolutely destroy Sienna. Mama Bear Sharon is the best Sharon. And what about Victor? If Victor finds out about this baby, oh boy, Victor doesn't let Newman blood go. Never. He will buy that baby. He will hire a team of lawyers to slap Sienna with so many injunctions she won't be able to sneeze without a judge's permission. He will lock her in a tower at the ranch until she gives birth. You know, Victor has done worse for less. He would see this as protecting the Newman legacy. And honestly, right now, I might even root for Victor to do it. That's how mad I am at Sienna. I just keep thinking about Noah's face. The poor guy just can't catch a break. First the Audra stuff, then his club gets overshadowed by all the family drama, then Sienna gets manipulated by Matt Clark, and now this. The writers just love torturing him. It fits the show's usual style, I guess. The young Newmans are never allowed to just be happy. Summer is a mess. Noah is a mess. Claire is dealing with the Kyle drama. It's just a generational curse at this point. If your last name is Newman, you are not allowed to have a normal, happy relationship. It's in the contract. But this storyline feels different. It feels darker. Usually, soap pregnancies are all about who is the daddy or someone falling down the stairs. This is raw. This is about a woman who actively despises her partner and a man who is begging for a scrap of fatherhood. It's uncomfortable to watch. It's clunky in places, sure. The pacing was a bit weird leading up to this. Like, we didn't even know she was pregnant until she was at the clinic. They skipped the whole taking the test in the bathroom and crying trope. They just went straight to the nuclear option. Bam. Pregnant. Bam. Abortion clinic. Bam. I hate you. It gave me whiplash. Let's just take a second to really zoom out and look at the bigger pattern here. The Young and the Restless has this habit of building up these seemingly normal couples and then just detonating them from the inside out. Remember when we thought Noah and Sienna were going to be the next big power couple? They were going to move to Los Angeles, leave all the toxic Genoa City garbage behind, and just live their lives. Noah was going to run his club. Sienna was going to do whatever it is Sienna does, and they were going to be happy. But happiness doesn't get ratings. Misery gets ratings. And the writers decided that instead of a quiet exit, they were going to burn the house down on their way out. And honestly, the way Sienna is acting, it makes me wonder if she ever loved him at all. Was she just using him for the Newman connection? Was it all a game? Because the disgust on her face tonight wasn't new. We've seen flashes of it before. Whenever Noah would get a little too protective or a little too intense, she would get this look, this tight, annoyed look. I just never realized how deep the resentment went. She resents him for loving her. She resents him for wanting a future with her. And now she resents him for putting a baby in her. It's just so incredibly tragic. Noah is standing in that sterile, brightly lit hospital corridor, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, and his whole world is just dissolving into dust. He offered her everything. I'll raise it. You don't love me. Let the baby live. That line is going to haunt me. It's going to be in every fan-made YouTube tribute video for the next 5 years. It was delivered with such a broken, hollow voice. He wasn't demanding it. He wasn't pulling a Victor Newman and threatening her. He was pleading. He was stripping away all his pride, all his dignity, just begging for the life of a child she doesn't even want. And her response, the anger, the sheer explosive anger. She didn't soften. She didn't cry. She lashed out. She told him to back off. She told him it was her body, her choice, her life, and he had no right to ambush her in the middle of the night. Which, okay, fair point on the ambush part, but the lack of empathy is what makes it so chilling. She is looking at a man who is bleeding out emotionally in front of her, and she is holding the knife and telling him to stop making a mess on the floor. It's just cold, ice cold. I just don't see how they wrap this up neatly. If she goes through with it, Noah's going to go off the deep end. We might see a dark Noah era. We might see him turn into Adam. Imagine Noah, hardened, bitter, ruthless, taking over Newman Enterprises because he realizes that being the good guy just gets your heart ripped out. I would actually love to see that. I would love to see Noah stop being the punching bag and start throwing some punches. He needs to stand up for himself. He really does. But if she doesn't go through with it, if she somehow agrees to give him the baby and walk away, that's a whole other can of worms. A single dad, Noah, raising a Newman heir, while Sienna just vanishes back to L.A. The drama potential is endless. But knowing these writers, They'll probably drag this out for another 3 weeks with endless conversations in the Crimson Lights patio before anything actually happens. You know how they do. Talk, 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 sip coffee, talk some more. I don't know, you guys. I am so drained. My brain is just spinning with theories. Will Noah kidnap her? No, he's not Adam. He wouldn't do that. Will he try to legally stop her? Can he even do that? I have no idea how the laws work in Wisconsin or Genoa City or wherever the writers decide they live today. All I know is that tomorrow's episode is going to be explosive. If you aren't tuning in right now, you are missing out on some premium, top-tier soap angst. It's messy, it's loud, it's heartbreaking, and I am entirely here for it. All right, I'm going to cut this off here before I start writing a whole thesis on the psychological damage of being a Newman. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you Team Noah? Do you have any sympathy for Sienna at all? Is Victor going to swoop in like a terrifying billionaire bat? Let me know down below. Stay tuned for more updates because this storyline is far from over.